Well, hello again. I'm back. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. Hope your day was terrific. So here we go. Side B. And now not long at all to go until it's out, is that? No. So what's side B opening up with? Death Main Kill. You've already had that one. Seemed to go down rather well as well. Lyrically lazy as you get with us, isn't it? It is obviously about lawnmowers and thrash. And that's about as deep as it's going to get, folks. It storms along. It's good. It's heavy. It's rowdy. And you've already heard it. But lyrically, it's quite a lazy one, isn't it? It feels like it's that sort of Ramones moment, doesn't it? You know, let's write a song about mouse and noisy music. So nothing new there for you. Christ Options is the next one, probably the shortest track on the album. And literally is what's your flavor? What's your choice? Yeah, it's not a lot to work out. Is it this one? Is it that one? What do you believe in? And if not, none of them. So it does what it says on the tin. It comes, it goes, and it's not a lot to it, really. I did see somebody review it as an anti-Bible song. I'm not sure it was that at all. It was simply saying, what choice do you want to make? It's up to you, not us, isn't it? Hell's Teeth, that's the next one. Quite honestly, I'm not going to tell you. It's specifically about a certain person and a certain circumstance that really made us laugh. And it's going to stay an in-joke because nobody can work it out. And that's fine by us, isn't it? This is a band full of in-jokes, but it's us being damn rude about somebody. It's a quirky one. It's probably one of the odder tracks. The rhythms on that one are all over the place. So it really is one of the slightly odder left of center tracks, I would say, that you've got to look forwards to. Blunt Cutters is the next one. That's obviously the album title, and I shall stick to what I think is the much nicer version of what it is. That at our age, obviously, things have become a little bit rusty, and we're aging and all of that. And that's a nice way to look at our album title. If you want to intrinsically pull the lyrics together when you get your album, you'll probably work out why we called it Blunt Cutters. And it's quite horrible, to be perfectly honest. But that's what it is. So you can go and make your decisions on that one. But it's a jaunty one. It's not one of the longer tracks on the album, but our title tracks don't tend to be, do they? So you can go and work out what that's about. Space Herpes is the next one. I think I was saying on side A, Parko has some weird dreams. And I think this one, if I remember rightly, was linked to a dream he'd had, or if it wasn't a dream he'd had, he claims it was a documentary he watched on NASA. And he claims, I'm sure this was really the case with NASA, isn't it? He claims he'd watched a documentary about NASA having a lack of spacesuits, having to share them once up there at the station and so on, and people catching nasty things from inside other people's spacesuits. Sounds reasonably unlikely, doesn't it? I think it's more likely it was one of those odd, boy needs to stop eating cheese, if you ask me. But that's where that came from, out of the slightly odd dreamlike world of Mr. Parks. So that one was out of his head. And Nothing But Noise is the next. That should have been called Now But Noise, shouldn't it? But maybe that's a bit too northern. Nothing But Noise. What's it about? Tippy tappies. Then lot, keyboard warriors. That's exactly what that one's about. It's a good old rant about people who really should know better when to sit down in front of computers, to be quite honest. We've seen a lot of Motorhead references getting chucked around with this album. Personally, I'm really quite happy about that. I don't think it's a bad thing at all. Lots of people saying they thought Snails had that kind of Motorhead type feel to it, which is interesting. This is probably the one, if you want to point it, this is probably the one that's got the biggest Motorhead feel of all of them, I would say. It's a bit of a stormer. So, but that's what it's about. It's about the old tippy-tappy idiots and so on. Good Night, Bob. Nobody is going to get it unless we tell you what that one's about. It's the perfect yin to the yang of Good Morning, Phil, obviously. So that was a nice thing to do. But Good Morning, Bob is about a fallen friend. So unfortunately, it was about a friend of ours who passed about 16 months ago, 17 months ago, and it is simply an ode to him. Right, so it's our way of saying cheerio. Okay, so that's what that one's about. Power bagging, awesome, great track. Absolutely love power bagging. Got really great hardcore feel to it. An absolute pain in the ass to do the vocals too, I've got to tell you as well. You know, it's not good if you like breathing, that song, but it is about the ills of our European cousins, supermarkets, and the temptations of the middle aisle. Whole song about that, and it's cracking. And then finally, the album finishes with Agency of COB. And if you're very big and very clever and spell that, it spells cob. And of course, if we did a song on Saturday about thrashing lawnmowers and all that kind of stuff, of course, we're going to do a cob-related song as well. So this is the one that's probably going to surprise you, or the one that will surprise most people, I would say. It's probably the longest track we've done. It's an epic. It's about 5.5 minutes long for a start, and it's got some really interesting stuff on it. I mean, the guitar lick for me is a bit sort of 1979, 1980 kind of Adam and the Ant at some points. It's got that ant invasion type feel to it, so it's quite a bit, you know, really interesting kind of guitar licks. It's got a narrated vocal because it's very story based. And from the middle and forwards, it gets about as heavy as I think we've ever got, and it's a ripper at this point. So it's really heavy, it's really aggressive, and lyrically, it's Terminator, or it's Terminator with cobs. Basically, it's about the ills of your computer falling over somewhere around Windows 24 or whatever the quip was made, and what could happen was, you know, end of mankind. And Cobb takes over the universe, basically. But it's a cracker. I'm going to be really, really interested to see what kind of commentary we get about that track, because I think it's the one that's going to flummox you. All right. So there you go. No point in making it easy listening all the way through, is there? So it's out. It's out Friday. We really, really, really want you to love it. If you hate it, that's fine. Tell us you hate it. I just hope there's no middle ground. There's nothing worse than, oh, it's nice. Well, it's okay. Don't like that. Let's have totally love it or totally hate it. There shouldn't be a middle ground. It's bloody Lawnmower Deth, for God's sake. So tell us what you think come Friday. Usual thing. Links in the bio. Go and grab it if you want it. Stream the bloody living daylights out it if you don't want to pay. But tell us what you think. All right, folks. Have a great week, couple of days, and you can have it. Take care. See you later.